Long ago, in a quiet village surrounded by green fields and flowing rivers, there lived a kind young man named Rihan. But Rihan was not famous for his wealth or power. He was famous for something very unusual. Rihan had a parrot. It's a very special parrot. This was no ordinary bird. The parrot could speak. And not just speak. It could give wise advice that solved people's problems. Every morning, villagers gathered outside Rihan's small house, hoping to hear the parrot's wisdom. One day, a worried farmer rushed to Rihan. He said, "My crops are dying and I cannot understand why." Rihan looked at his parrot. The parrot gently flapped its wings and said, "Check the roots of your plants, a rat is eating them from below." The farmer ran back to his field and soon discovered the parrot was right. Another man came with tears in his eyes. He said, "My business is failing. I am losing everything." The parrot calmly replied, "Do your work with honesty and patience. Success will return to you." Days passed and the parrot continued helping everyone. Soon the whole region began talking about the wise talking bird. But one day, something magical happened. Rihan went to the river to wash his hands, when suddenly he saw a beautiful red fish trapped in a fisherman's net. The fish looked at him with pleading eyes. "Please save me," the fish whispered. Rihan was shocked. Talking fish. But without asking questions, he freed the fish and gently placed it back in the water. Suddenly, the water sparkled with bright light. The fish transformed into a beautiful fairy. She smiled and said, "I am Neelam, the river fairy. A cruel magician once turned me into a fish, but your kindness has broken half of the spell. If you ever need help, just call my name." And with that, she disappeared into the water. Rihan returned home wondering if the magical moment was real. But far away in a grand palace, someone had heard about the talking parrot. The king loved rare and unusual things. When he heard about the wise bird, he decided he must have it. The next morning, royal soldiers arrived at Rihan's house. The king himself stepped forward and said, "I want your parrot." Rihan respectfully replied, "Your Majesty, this parrot is my friend. I cannot give it away." The king frowned. Then he said, "Fine. If you answer 2 of my riddles in 3 days, you may keep the parrot, but if you fail, the parrot will belong to me." Rihan had no choice. He agreed. The king smiled and spoke the first riddle. "What are the 2 things that are always chasing each other, but never meet?" Then he asked the second riddle. "What walks on 4 legs, then 2 legs, and finally 3 legs?" The king laughed. Even the wisest men in the kingdom had failed these riddles. 3 days passed. Rihan tried to think, but the answers would not come. He became worried. That night he walked to the river and called out softly, "Neelam fairy, please help me." The river water shimmered, and the fairy appeared. She listened carefully to the riddles and smiled. "The first answer is day and night. They follow each other forever, but they never meet. And the second answer is a human being. As a baby, a person crawls on 4. As an adult, they walk on 2 legs. When old, they walk with a stick, making 3. Rihan was filled with joy. The next day, he went to the palace. The king asked, "Have you brought the answers?" Rihan confidently spoke, "Day and night, and the human life." The king's smile disappeared. For the first time in years, the king had lost a challenge. But a king must keep his promise. The king returned the parrot and rewarded Rihan with gold and land. Rihan thanked him, but chose to live the same simple life, because for him, friendship and kindness were far more valuable than riches. And from that day on, the magical parrot continued helping people while the story of Rihan's kindness spread across the kingdom forever. And the villagers always remembered one important lesson. True wisdom comes from kindness, honesty, and helping others.